Important subject today and not much to it, and it is how to figure out what's important to you rather than what you just think is important to you. Because quite often we're participating in a form of self-deception, thinking, maybe even saying something's important to us that in reality just isn't. Or, well, let's get into it. Now, the simplest thing that we can look at objectively is how do you spend your limited available time and energy, right? Nobody out there has 24/7 to do whatever they feel like doing. Everybody's got other obligations. Everybody's got other duties, whether it's classes, whether it's jobs, whether it's family situations, whether it's social situations, whatever it is, everybody's got obligations. But everybody also has a little bit of flexible time. Some time with which it's up to them how that time is spent. How that, whatever little bit of energy is left over, where that goes. And where that energy goes is the best indication of what's actually important to somebody. Right? If somebody tells me that they are super into cooking, and they never cook, and they never study cooking, and they never do anything about it, well then that's not actually important to them. Right? I don't think that they're consciously, deliberately lying to me, but it's just out of touch with what actually is important to them. Now, the reason why I mention this is partly because if you say this back to somebody, in many cases, they might get frustrated, right? You might be thinking right now that you're a little bit annoyed that I'm trying to call you out, essentially, and perhaps that maybe what you might say is important to you and what you might think is important to you may not line up with where that little bit of extra energy, time, and so on is able to be allocated, right? And that can be frustrating. But that then is the second clue as to what's important to us. And in this case, then it just comes down to how we fix what objectively, demonstrably, provably is what's important to us to become in alignment with what we want it to be. That you could actually think of it as being that what we want to be important to us is different than what currently is. And out of those two, then the way to correct it is to shift what we're doing. It's to reallocate that little bit of energy, a little bit of time in the direction that is important to us. Whatever the issue is, whatever the subject is, whatever the area of our life is that we want to improve. Maybe it's something outside of us and civilization as a whole that is a matter that is something frustrating, touching to us, and we want to do something about that. Well, then that can be a best sign of where we put our little bit of time and attention. Right? I mean, it's something that if we were sitting on mounds of money, and I don't suspect that many of our viewers are, I'm certainly not, but if we were sitting on mounds of money like Bill Gates or one of these people trying to figure out how to spend that money for social good or to promote a cause or to improve themselves or to improve their lives or whatever, well, you can think of it as your minutes, your hours, your little bit of leftover energy. That's currency. You know, the old time is money phrase kind of works both ways. If you don't have money to give, you may still have what little bit of time or energy you have to give. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean even giving outwardly. It very well could mean inwardly towards your own improvement, towards improving your situation, whatever it might be, at a skill, at a creative outlet. Doesn't have to all be utility. Could be enrichment. Could be that saying that, is reading important to you? Okay, let's say it is. How much time do you actually spend reading? Out of the available time, again, let's think of it as percentages to be fair. Because again, I know nobody has 24/7 do what they want. The few people in the world who do, I think they kind of struggle for it. But so, outside of our obligations and duties and responsibilities, what percentage of leftover time is going to the thing that you say, that you think, that you want to be important to you? And if it's not, then let's figure out how to shift and pivot in that direction so it is. Obviously, for a lot of people I work with, it's game development, but I know a lot of people out there watching these videos, it's about half and half. A lot of y'all, nothing to do with game development whatsoever, and that's fine too. But this is a lot of what the list series has been about, that getyourselftodothings.com. Haven't mentioned it in a while, but I've sent out another couple of those, maybe the past few weeks, and still getting good responses from them, still getting good readership, still getting good conversations back and forth through it. If you're having trouble pivoting your little bit of time and energy in the direction you want it to be in, you're trying to figure out why your time, why what objectively someone else might see as important to you is not lining up with what you want to be important with you, with what you think is important to you. Let's work together at how we can improve upon that, and that's something that, again, I'm practicing doing. It's a free email list, right? I'm just this is what I'm doing, trying to refine these situations and stories because it's something that's so common to people I work with. It's an area I'm getting more practice at. I'd like you to be a part of that. So that's getyourselftodothings.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll have another video for y'all tomorrow.